Getaways are hard during the busy season, especially in my trade, landscaping. But Chelsea Flower Show only comes around end of May, and it has become a tradition of sorts, and really a trip to London, I'm okay with that anytime. And so, after checking in on all the ongoing projects, it was time to head to the airport for my late evening flight to London. My flight departed from Kennedy, New York's biggest and busiest airport. After a smooth and quick hop across the pond, we were descending right over the center of London. We landed at Heathrow mid-morning. So many planes from faraway lands. Clearing the customs is a breeze, though the airport is huge, but a long walk is welcome after a cross-Atlantic flight. We jumped on the Heathrow Express to Paddington Station, and after minding our gap, we're in the center of London about 15 minutes later. In no time, we're in Paddington. It's London's main terminus. In operation since 1838, it's a clean, efficient, and easy-to-navigate train station. We took a London taxi. By now, the route feels familiar. Past Hyde Park, down Park Lane, along the posh hotels of the Mayfair and Grosvenor Square, and before you know it, you're in Belgravia, with their townhouses, called terrace houses here in UK, lining the streets and garden squares. In no time, we arrived at our home for the next few days on a quiet street in Pimlico neighborhood. The back windows of our walk-up looked onto the backyards of the neighboring townhouses. And just for a few days, we got to pretend we actually live in this amazing city. After leaving the luggage, it was time to explore. Luckily, the timing of the flight worked out well and the jet lag wasn't too bad. It was a beautiful, bright, crisp day, and we looked forward to going for a walk and getting to know the neighborhood. Plants and flowers seem to be growing out of every break in the pavement. London is a very green city. In the center of the city neighborhoods, squares are a central feature with homes built around them. This urban layout goes back some time and has been copied in cities all over the world. It took no time before discovering Warwick Square, only 2 blocks away. Laid out in the 1840s, this garden square has recently won several awards during London and Bloom garden competition. Judges described it as a gardener's delight, and I quote, "A structured hodgepodge from the everyday to the unusual and exotic. A plant person's garden, much loved and experimental. Work always in progress." This square features the rose garden, formal bedding, lawn area, and a mix of shrubs, herbaceous plants, and seasonal ephemerals to ensure year-round color, interest, and fragrance. Plantings include species found in Victorian times. Two of the Victorian mounds have been re-landscaped with timber forts, concealed paths, and hiding places to create a redesigned children's play area. Many of the squares open the garden gates to public on the Open Garden Square weekend in June. If your travel plans coincide with those dates, consider visiting some of these green treasures in the heart of London. This year the dates were June 10 and 11th. On the south side of the Warwick Square is St. Gabriel Church with a lovely small garden. It was built around the same time as the square itself, 1830s. Its steeple was our landmark and guided us back to our Airbnb through the winding streets and mews, alleyways as they're known here, more than once. Its cottage garden, and especially the old-fashioned thornless white rose, was a welcome sight in today's world of over-hybridized roses. After a quick walk around the Warwick Square, we headed up Belgrave Road, one of the streets surrounding it. It's a lovely spot with lots of shops and restaurants. Along the way, we stopped over at Chalk's for a little afternoon aperitivo. Well rehydrated and even in better spirits, we continued our journey to Eaton Square. No walk around London can be complete without peeking through the bars of wrought iron fences and gaps in mature shrubs and ancient trees of the stately parks and city green spaces. Plant design creativity is contagious, and a bit of friendly front garden design competition was clearly on display on this block of posh row houses, each fancier than the next one. As the new neighborhoods began popping up around London, expanding the city and pushing its boundaries east and west, the contracts for developing new grand mansions usually stipulated that open areas were to be preserved and developed as green garden spaces. Although the original inspiration was very much influenced by the grand piazzas of Italy, the idea of retaining some wilderness in a rapidly expanding urban development was vital to the urban plan of the time. New small urban gardens came in every shape and size: square, circular, crescent, oval, or polygon, and by middle of 18th century, they became a defining design feature of London and were admired and copied throughout Europe and beyond. The slivers of wilderness in the middle of the city are more important today than ever. These small green oases are home to many wild birds and exotic plants and all kinds of garden critters. I have driven past Eaton Square many times in a cab, always wishing I could stop and walk around this historic London landmark. I am glad I took the time on this visit. Turning the corner into Cavendish Place, we walk towards Sloane Square. Sloane Square is a few short blocks from the grounds of the Royal Chelsea Hospital, where the RHS Chelsea Flower Show is being held. But really, all the signs were right there: ladies in charming floral dresses and gentlemen in smart jackets. It was late afternoon, and the show was winding down for the day. The closer we got to the main gate, the busier the streets got. You could feel the energy and the excitement in the air. It's Wednesday, and we have tickets for the show for Friday. Well, it's been a busy day. It began in New York and ended in Chelsea, London. I think it's time for a well-deserved gin and tonic. Please join me for my next video. I will pick up exactly where I've left off, on this very corner, because what I have to show you next will truly surprise you. Till then, happy gardening!